Hello everyone, and welcome once again to another episode of the Monday Melee. This week we're going to cover a fantastic game between Cognitive and Bob Ross Fan Club. If you haven't gotten a chance to watch this game yet, I highly recommend it. As always, I'll include a link to the full-length game in the description. Caldor casts this particular match and does a great job as usual. But without further ado, let's go ahead and head right into the action. This particular matchup takes place on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and as you can see, we are approaching the 25-minute mark. Both of these teams have done an excellent job of poking and trading kills, but neither team has succeeded in a full team wipe, leaving little opportunity for full capitalization on their advantages. Now, the Bob Ross Fan Club does have a slight lead going into the late game, having taken out every structure for Cognitive, but with a keep down and the core exposed, this is still anyone's game, especially since it's Cognitive on the offensive right now, going in 5v4 against Bob Ross. Notice Cognitive is doing an excellent job of pushing while staying out of danger. Muradin is the tip of their spear and is in a position to protect his ranged backline, who are pouring damage into this keep. Equally important is how Bob Ross is handling this, and I think it's worth a note. In a lot of Hero League games, you'll note that the defensive team is so desperate to protect a structure that they start diving into the enemy team even when the numbers are not in their favor. Notice how Bob Ross doesn't engage at all. In fact, most of their members don't even dismount as they watch this keep fall. It will not be the end of the game to let this structure go, but if one of them gets picked off defending it, that would end the game. Patience is key here, and they are looking for a better opportunity to engage. And Kerrigan and Muradin think they've found that opportunity. Kerrigan throws out her Primal Grasp immediately, but misses both Falstad and ETC, who are a little too quick. Falstad stuns Kerrigan as Muradin stuns ETC, allowing Kerrigan to safely bolt away. Kerrigan shifts her focus over to Zuna, but with all three of her basic abilities down, she can't put out enough damage. Jaina bolts in to drop her combo on Zuna, but he bolts out just as Kerrigan gets the Ancestral Healing to give chase. Unfortunately, her Ravage is still down for another couple seconds, and she can't. Jaina's health melts away as she gets a group hug from a host of Chained Bomb minions, leaving her very close to death's door. This would be the perfect time for an expeditious retreat, but they really want this last keep. Cognitive has positioned the keep between themselves and the Bob Ross Fan Club, but the keep is not the most important structure they should be killing. This wall is going to cost them an awful lot here in the next couple of seconds. McIntyre drops an Entomb for Cognitive so they can be conveniently buried right where they stand. As Jaina goes to her Ice Block happy place, Kerrigan decides to go all in on Kael'thas, who pops a shield to minimize the damage of her combo. Falstad gives air support, flying over and using Mighty Gust to invite Cognitive to stay just a little longer. With nowhere else to go, Kerrigan and Jaina both head into the corner. Falstad is going to barrel roll in to finish off Jaina, who in a last act of defiance alt-W's herself, dropping a blizzard directly onto Falstad, who will get out one last stun onto Kerrigan, which is comboed with Uther's stun as they are desperate to keep her from using a Ravage to escape. Sylvana sees Kerrigan in trouble and does manage to get off one last Wailing Arrow to kill Falstad and silence Uther. Seeing that Kerrigan cannot be saved, Muradin turns his attention towards a low-health McIntyre to try and finish him off before he goes down himself. McIntyre, however, shows no fear of death, being an undead ghoul already, but his courage is certainly bolstered by a quick Divine Shield. Things are looking bad for Muradin, who doesn't even possess the mana for a Dwarf Toss. Weighed down by the depression of a life not lived and a likely unfinished novel in his desk drawer, Muradin is beginning to give up. With one last face melt from ETC, Muradin shoots Sylvanas a look, quietly asks her to remember him as he was, and charges headlong into the base to give Sylvanas the time necessary to make good on her escape. So let's review what we've learned. First off, you probably noticed that Cognitive had few ultimate cooldowns up when they started their push. It's fine to push with a wave when you have a numbers advantage, but as soon as that advantage is gone, you should assess your cooldowns and decide if a continued push is really the right decision. Second, don't sacrifice your life to save a structure that isn't pivotal. Forts and keeps are going to fall in every game you play, and many times they cannot be saved. Your patience can be the difference in giving the enemy a keep, a kill, and the win. And lastly, know your way out. Positioning far from the enemy team is great when you're squishy, but if they close that gap and you have no escape, what good was your positioning if you're going to die anyway? With those points in mind, let's look at the unaltered clip.
Middle and bottom are the two lanes where they still have keeps. Those are the two lanes that they definitely have to defend. And they're already going for the burst damage against the one in the mid lane. McIntyre is of course here for the zoning. Glorang with a Maelstrom. They can move away from this. Uh-oh, that was a bit tricky. Arthalon in trouble. Flies away with the epic mount, but again the mosh pit, the Divine Shield comes a bit too late. He's already interrupted. No chance for him to go through with it, but they're moving away now. The Bolt of the Storm being used. Glorang hits too like a boss. And Uther, oh my god, he died again. Uther is down, and they are going straight in to drop McIntyre. But this is a chance for Cognitive to make a lot happen here. They can start to take down structures now. Maybe at the bot lane. It's a 5 versus 4 situation since Uther is already dead, and they are attempting, of course, to take it on here. They have still that Sylvanas, and she's disabling all the structures as we speak. The mid keep in trouble. There's no keeps left anymore for the opponent, by the way. Not a single one for Cognitive. They don't have anything left here. 13 kills against 6. Can they go for core? I highly doubt that. Uther is dead for another 30 seconds, but there's no way that they can core it here. At the bot lane, the last Web Weaver is very low and is not going to make it here. So at this point, we're having once again Skylol, everybody else just posturing around, right? Very well done. And, well, for now, Arthelon is there now as well. Skylol is, of course, going to jump away, but they're trying to go in again. Lockdown failed, and the turnaround attempt against Glora. Bolt of the Storm, Ancestral Healing is hitting Zuna. Jump back in the last second. Look at Jaina. She's nearly down. It's a 5 versus 5 again, and they have to move away, but a great entomb that is being used here. False that flies in, blasts them into the range. They're trying to go for Jaina. They're going deep for the kill here. Jaina hit the last second Blizzard though, and False that is dying, but Kerrigan is also dead. It's a 3-for-1. Divine Shield on Leoric, who moves into, and they are starting to move straight for Muradin.
As always, guys, thanks for watching this week's episode of the Monday Melee. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Also visit josheb.com for all your Josheb gaming needs. We're trying to start up a second series where we actually examine amateur fights in Hero League, and if you're interested in having your fight reviewed, please send it over either by replay or by video to joshebgaming@gmail.com, and look for that in the very near future. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next Monday.